I read afterwards the new Saudi chairman was in the home dressing room afterwards, flanked by bodyguards. But that's just a detail. Mm-hmm. Should he have been there?
Well, he should be there if he wants to be there. I mean, I don't think there's any need for him to be in a dressing room to give any support or condoning to the players. Losing at home to Cambridge, in the great scheme of things, I don't think it's a bad thing, because I think it will give Eddie Howe an opportunity to get into the ribs of these players even more, to be able to do the primary focus, which is staying in the Premier League. But given that Eddie Howe wants to build up and get some momentum going, losing to Cambridge doesn't help the cause. Now, your owner, two things happened in that game. A, allegedly the players didn't applaud the fans. They went bolting down the tunnel because they were obviously not very happy with the outcome. And B, owners went into the dressing room. Now, they're not going in the dressing room to berate people. They're going in there to give them some support. But those players, in this instance, with all due respect, aren't worthy of any support. Their job is to go and win football matches, and certainly to win football matches against League One sides. And so in that instance, I think it's a slightly understandable from one perspective, but not understanding the business of sport. You don't need to give players any latitude. They need to be held to account. They need to be focused on their shortcomings and then given the opportunity to develop character, overcome the adversity that's coming their way. You start bringing new, lightweight owners in there, not lightweight financially, but lightweight in their understanding of football.
Sure.
You're not understanding the culture of footballers. They don't need to see their chairman. They don't need to see their owner. All they want to see is their owner making sure that their wage packet is where they want it to be, and their manager is to impart the wisdom. Their manager is to hold their feet to the fire or to give them encouragement, not their owner. And guaranteed the players will sit there and just think some muggy owner coming in. But it will look like it's wonderful support, and the background will be that we're all together.
Yeah.
That the ownership model will learn that players are to be managed by their managers, and leave them to it, and leave the communication method to be with the manager, because that's the guy that does the job.
What happens, Danny, in a moment like that? You're sitting there, you've just gone out, and you shouldn't have gone out, but you've gone out.
It's just noise.
And in comes the owner.
It's irrelevant. Doesn't make any difference. I just pull Simon up on one thing. He said he doesn't think it's a bad thing they lost. I think it's a really bad thing. I think it's really bad.
No, I don't think it's a good thing, but I think in the great scheme of things, if Eddie Howe can take it and use it as a mechanism to get some of these people off their high horses, I think they're better than they are.
But my feeling
So expand on that, Danny. Does this lead to relegation?
Well, I think it's bad for confidence, because you've just lost at home to a League One side. Next time you play at home, you've got the fans annoyed. And
who have you got next? The game of the season,
right? But
Watford.
But let me just elaborate. So you've got the fans who aren't. The fans could have gone away happy after a good performance and watch some goals and still be in the FA Cup and have that buzz. Eddie Howe's he's auditioning really every time he goes out there and manages that team. So it's more pressure on him. Another bad performance at home. The pressure builds on him. The expectancy builds, and confidence. For players, it just drops. You lose at home to Cambridge. You go a goal down in your next one against, who you say it is?
It's Watford.
It's Watford.
Against Watford. You go a goal down against Watford. You can't pull it back against Prey. It's in the back of your mind. Every which way you look at it, it's a bad result.
Does it give them an opportunity to get some galvanised spirit to go out and prove the point in the next game, which is the alternate argument, which is on one side, it gives them a diminished level of confidence. But they've won one game in 19. That confidence is already low anyway. Yeah. The next point is they have been embarrassed and they're being humiliated by a League One side. They were a better side, Newcastle. They had 23 shots on goal. So by definition, they should have won that game. But the point is they didn't. So I believe that actually there's an ability to leverage this into something which is right. Now we've got to give these Newcastle fans, because Newcastle fans after the game were very generous in support of their players, were still a galvanised spirit. Now they go against Watford, and you start losing games against Watford, which are make and break for Newcastle in the Premier League season. The FA Cup is a moment in time, and it gives us an opportunity to say Newcastle are in even more trouble than we thought they were. But if they go against Watford and they get beat against Watford at home, then they're banging trouble, because Watford now have pushed the gap to 6 points from them.
Yeah, but I don't think we're looking at a bad performance against Cambridge galvanising them in terms of energy and application. I think it just compounds the lack of quality.
So would a good performance against a team they expect to win give them any more momentum then? Because everyone would say, well, you've just done what you expected to do.
Yeah.
So why would one...
It's the lesser of two evils, isn't it?
You're right, it's the lesser of two evils, yeah.
I'm kind of with Danny. I must admit, I think it's a disastrous result for them, Simon, in terms of morale, in terms of everything as to where they are at the moment. And Nick Harrison, you're on the wrong boat with this one. Listening to you this morning, just wondering where this anti-Newcastle diatribe comes from. Please enlighten us. I'll enlighten you, Nick. It doesn't exist. I for one think Newcastle's a phenomenal club with brilliant fans, as they proved again at the weekend.
Yeah.
But what is going on with the team? It's disastrous at the moment.